Mighty Morphin, right? And so when I was looking at a way to kind of get into the story, I wasn't really interested in telling brand new origins or anything like that. And Power Rangers has always been about the idea of friendship and the power of teamwork.
Yes.
And so to me, a really interesting place to start a new kind of look at that era was the introduction of Tommy. Because you have this dynamic that's established, and now you're bringing an outsider in who just weeks earlier was brainwashed into, killing them all.
Yeah.
And his kind of introduction and joining of the team on the show, it was kind of like the next episode, you were a full ranger,
Yeah.
And in the book, I tend to write a lot of spy stuff and and things like that. And so the idea of like kind of a Manchurian Candidate kind of vibe where he hasn't fully gotten over the mind control possibly, and there's the specter of Rita that still haunts him, and you don't know if it's really her or just some sort of like weird PTSD from the Green Ranger powers or what. And then the other members of the team looking at him and kind of in some cases feeling like they're going to lose their place on the team, or how does this work? It's kind of like any LeBron James basketball team in the last 5 years always looks great on paper, and inevitably it takes like at least half a season for them to gel,
Figure it out.
So it's that kind of take on Power Rangers, and issue 2 just came out. Issue 1 blew the doors off sales charts. It was actually the #2 comic in the world. This past month, yeah.
Wow.
Congrats.
That's insane. Yeah.
Yeah, and there are a lot of different covers for him, which different ones, and it's awesome. I mean, first of all, you did a great job. It's one story. It's a lot of times I don't watch things. People say why? Because I was in it. You know what I mean? Like I don't watch a movie because I was in it. But this story, I met Kyle before I even knew he was writing the show and all that stuff. But it's one story that I look at and I think, man, I wish that was part of the season. There's not a lot of stories I look at to say, man, I wish we were actually filming that, because the comic books are legit, really good stories. Good. Not just because it's about Tommy. I'm just an overall writer. You know what I mean? Like to take that chance and say, okay, well, Boom Comics, we're going to do this comic book. And they did it right, because it did blow the doors off everything. All the Green Ranger, White Ranger was the hardest one to get.
Yeah.
Just because, each store had to buy like 50 copies and covers and tons of different ones. So,
right.
Which is awesome.
But I think it's a testament to the legacy that you guys have built. We're talking 23 years later.
It's crazy.
Like
Not a lot of.
Is it that long?
Not a lot of shows can say that they have this strong community of people that are still so into it, and the original characters too.
Well, I think just because, me and Kimberly, I almost said me and Tommy. Me and Kimberly had that little love story going on. So like it was the first crush of boys, first crush of girls. And now that you guys are all grown up, it's kind of like having that car in your garage that's 17 years old that nobody cares about, 18 years old, nobody cares about, and now it's a classic. Now it's a car that, like the VW Volkswagen buses, like you can get those for cheap, and now they're like 60 grand, 70 grand, so much like it's just matured, and the audience now is perfect, right, for this, age group and the Comic-Cons, and they grew up with me, so I think it's different than watching a show now. Like, I'm a fan of Gotham and other shows, but I didn't grow up with them. Like, I see some of the guys that grew up with, like, Chips and all the other shows and Lou Ferrigno, and I think, man, I grew up with this guy. It brings you being a kid all over again. And that's what I like. That's what I enjoy seeing, is that it just brings you back to being 8 again or 10, and oh my God, it's so awesome to see you,
Do you have kids?
Yes.
You do. Do they know how many times their dad has saved the world?
Well, yeah, I would think they maybe lost track of it, because in Angel Grove, we always win. We would read our scripts and we would look through, and which I don't look at your book like this, but we would read a script and go, okay, battle, grow, win. Tommy help, Kimberly. Okay, Tommy saves the day. All right, there we go. Let's shoot. You know what I mean? So, it's cool, and I guess it's cool saving the world. But more importantly, I really enjoy hearing someone comes up and says, "I know you hear this a lot, but you're a hero of mine." And you can never. For me, I can never hear that enough. That's the reason why I do these shows, is for those stories. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
nice thing to hear.
I remember, man, being a kid and seeing the trailers for the show and just getting so pumped up and doing the moves in my room and stuff like that. And to see that the community is still so strong. I wanted to ask you, you weren't originally in the original group. You did try out. You auditioned for the Red Ranger and then came back as the Green Ranger. How did that process work exactly?
Well, all the guys were casted. I originally, they just read me for, I had Zach's roles.
Okay.
Because they didn't know really where Tommy was going. It was just like an acting thing. It was like, I had no clue who Zordon was. I had no clue what a ranger was. I thought I was auditioning to be a forest ranger and fighting with Smokey the Bear. You know, so I read the audition. And, I went there and they said, you're going to be the Green Ranger. And then all of a sudden the next day I had me and about 10 other girls show up. And I was like, man, I hope they don't change their mind if they want a girl or a boy. I might have to take all these women out to secure my role. No, I didn't. And then Twee. I saw Twee and I helped her. And I'm a martial artist. I own martial arts schools, Rising Sun Karate, and I train online. And so I was helping her and I'm sweating and I'm working this. I'm thinking, man, I hope I get this job just because I love it. To sit up here and see the lights and see the cameras, it was never about money at all for me. That's the reason why I stayed so long into the show. I can't let that get in my head. You know, in this business, you can just blow your head up and just walk around like you're somebody, but you will fall back into the valley again. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like in Gotham, you know, the Commissioner Gordon went to jail. Yeah, everybody you went to jail got locked up with. You will see your friends again. No, that's right. Just watch that last episode. Yeah. But yeah, I joined the cast and I was hired for 10 episodes and, you know, went and talked to Saban and they're like, this is great. And I said, I'm going to do these 10 episodes the best. You know what I mean? Anything I'm involved with, if it's like, you know, I have a 2-episode deal and I've signed some stuff coming up for next year and you're only in 2 episodes, I'm like, that's all I need. That's all I need. If I could just get a couple, you know, couple things and do the best I can, that's it. So I joined the team and then 200 and something episodes later, you know, it was just crazy.
Do you have any like favorite like memorabilia from the show?
Yeah, I have quite a few things.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's funny because, man, you guys would look at the dagger like this thing is a pager or a roto phone. You know, you would look at, like, you see the phones, you're like, little kids are like, what is this? I'm like, Jenny, you put your finger in it, and then you like wind it up, and then it makes this noise. She's like, well, how come? It's like, you know, the social media nowadays and stuff. So you would look at that dragon dagger like, it's so old but cool at the same time.
Right?
Imagine foam and a wire can look like that. So all the new props they have nowadays, literally, the toys are better. But when we would run out of morphers, this is no lie, the props guy would be like, man, did you bring the morphers on set? And we're like, oh man, we got it. They would run to the Toys R Us shop and buy the toys.
The replica?
And shoot for, because they were pretty much toys, right? You know, real quick shots and stuff like that. So you can't find them at Toys R Us anymore. But when you did, that's what we did.
That's insane. Do you have any projects that you're working on right now? Anything? I know you do a little MMA stuff.
Yeah.
You do some real life stuff.
Yep, I have. I mean, I still train and all that stuff, and I did my reality show, My Morphin' Life, which is on Con TV, which is kind of like a network for, you know, Comic-Con 24/7, different content. I shot about 33 episodes of that. I have 2 projects coming up that I signed for that I'm working on, and they'll release the details a little bit later. And man, doing the cons and Kyle's comic books and all his other work, I'm pretty busy.
That's good to be busy.
Good, yeah.
Good to be the Green Ranger. Now, where can we pick up this comic? Where can people find you guys online? All that stuff.
Well, the comic is available. It's available in print. It's available digital. It's available at the show right now at the Boom Studios booth, which is over in the Skyway or Skybridge. They have a bunch of exclusive covers that are only available here at the show, as well as different covers that are actually sold out in the direct market. So outside of the show, it's available at any comic book store you can find, and then online digitally through Boom's site, through Comixology, Google Play, stuff like that.
It's awesome. It's awesome. Thank you guys for coming and hanging with us today. You guys be sure to check out
Issue 2.
Issue 2.
Yeah. Awesome.
And thank you guys for watching. We will see you guys later. Have a good one.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks. Thanks to Emerald City Comicon.